Hi everyone, I'm Ambry and I'm going to get us started today. So in this project, we focused on document automation for a business formation firm. Our team worked on automating three core documents that every new business needs: the articles of incorporation, an operating agreement, and a standard employment contract. We used Gavel, which is a document automation platform designed for legal workflows. And in this presentation, we're going to walk you through what we built, why we built it, and how we approached automating each document. My section will focus on introducing the project, identifying the problem we set out to solve, and why Gavel was the right platform for our solution. So starting with the challenges we were facing, in a business formation firm, you're constantly preparing the same types of documents over and over again, but each client brings in different information, and the language in the contracts often needs to be tweaked depending on the structure of the business, the number of owners, or the state of incorporation. Before automation, this meant a lot of manual work. We were editing Word templates, we were copying and pasting clauses, double checking for consistency, and we were asking follow-up questions when clients left information out. This process was not only time consuming, it also introduced risks of human error, slowed down turnaround times, and made it harder to scale our services to more clients. Our goal was to create a system that would make it easier to collect information from clients, reduce the time spent drafting documents, and eliminate the repetitive tasks that don't require legal judgment. We needed something reliable, easy to use, and smart enough to handle branching logic and variable content across multiple documents. So to get started, we first needed working templates for each of the documents. And since this was a simulation project and not tied to a specific client, we sourced publicly available templates online. We reviewed a range of sample articles of incorporations, operating agreements, and employment contracts from reputable business and legal websites, and then we selected the templates that were fairly representative of what a small to corporate business would typically use, and then we tailored them to fit the automation goals we had in mind. Once we had those templates, we cleaned them up, standardized the formatting, and identified which parts could be turned into variables, like business name, number of owners, and so on. And using Gavel, some things that helped us initially were that first, it's built specifically with lawyers in mind, so it allows you to start with your existing Word templates and identify variables like type of entity or state of formation, and then you can link those variables to custom questions in a client-facing intake form. Second, Gavel supports conditional logic, which is huge for legal documents. For example, if a business is an LLC instead of a corporation, or if it has multiple owners, we can use logic to trigger different clauses or show different questions automatically. Third, it lets us connect multiple documents into one workflow, so a client can fill out a single intake form and we can generate their articles of incorporation and their operating agreement all customized to their answers. And finally, the interface is just incredibly intuitive, both for legal teams and for clients. It made the build process easy and the end user experience clean and professional. Now we're going to talk about the actual documents and walk through how we automated them.
Okay, hey guys, it's Jada. So I'm going to walk you through how we created each of these documents. So we'll look at the articles of incorporation, for example. Normally we just click new workflow, but for time's sake, we're going to go through one that we've already created. So here we listed this page as instructions because this is just kind of where we wanted to break down for people exactly what they'd be doing and what the form's purpose was. And we did that by clicking add question. And these are all of the options you can do. And it has an information block. So we just clicked instruction and it brought up an empty tile for us where we just inputted our information. And then typically we would click the add page button down here at the bottom and it would just bring up the exact same thing. And this is where we focused on what we wanted clients to answer. So we broke the articles of incorporation down into three main headings. The first was basic corporate information. And we added these questions by again clicking add question text. We did also use we used the selection, the multi-select option for the states up here when we wanted them to say where their corporation was being created in. And then the same thing again for the stock information. We did change the question type on here so that instead of allowing them to be able to insert text, they could only insert numbers, just to streamline the process a little bit more. And then the final page was stock issuance, followed by incorporator and business information. And then we wanted to do a signature line as well. And you can only do a signature alone on a page. So we just stated that a signature would come on the following page, had them print their name, as well as included an execution date. Again, we changed the question type to date, so they would be forced to do that instead of typing in anything else. And then inserted the signature that is one of those question options as well, but you can only do a signature on a page and nothing else. So then afterwards, we would hit save to save the document and close it. And then we pull up our template on Microsoft Word. And we had to add a little add-on to the Microsoft Word app to run, and it looks like this. So then you just click it, start. You have to have your client name as well as a special number to go with your organization. Up here is where you select what you want to pull from. We wanted to pull from the articles of incorporation, so we'll do that there. Simple variables, the variables we attached when we were answering questions, just to make it easier to find them on this document. So wherever we want the questions to be filled in at is where we'll insert the variable. So right here, we wanted the corporation name. So I'll go there, click corp name, and insert the variable, and it would just kind of fill in that spot for us. And then afterward, we'll go back to the templates that we had, edit the articles of incorporations again, and go to the document template options as opposed to the questions, and attach the template to the workflow. We already have it attached here, but it's really easy to do by dragging and dropping there. And then we've got the template attached. We'll click run just to make sure everything runs all right. This is how it looks from a client perspective, the instructions, the questions. If it's got a red star to it, that means it is something that's required. Here's the option to print names, and then again, do that date. Execution, they'll have the option to sign. And then hit continue, and then it should give you the option to review everything. Continue again. And it gives you your completed document in both PDF and docs form after it runs, and you can just download it. And because we didn't fill anything in when we were going through it, this is where all that information would go. You can see down here at the bottom where I did print the name and do the signature that those are included down here. So it's a really easy process. The features that we liked the most were that you could use conditional logic tools that kind of allows the platform to adjust the language in the documents based on answers that clients gave. So it was super helpful for tailoring the contracts. And we could also preview throughout the entirety of the building process to see what it would look like at the end. On a scale of 1 to 10, we would recommend this technology to a law firm probably at a 5 out of 10. For smaller firms without dedicated IT departments, it can be a little bit complicated to figure out exactly how to run things. And there were certain sections that we just really couldn't view, but Destiny will get into that a little bit in the next section. So we'll go ahead and move there now.
Hi everyone, my name is Destiny. First, I'll discuss the user setup on Gavel. So since we used a limited access Gavel account, only one user account was allowed per firm. So this meant that each partner at our firm had to use the same login. And since this was a collaborative project, all four of our partners were frequently logged in at the same time. When we were all logged in and trying to work on automating the documents together, we had some difficulty collaborating. For example, if two partners were working on building the questionnaire portion of the project, we found that our changes weren't being saved properly. So sometimes whole sections of progress were lost if more than one partner was editing simultaneously. So to avoid this, we just made sure that only one partner was editing the questionnaires at a time, but that did obviously cause the project to take more time. Our next challenge was just learning the platform of Gavel itself. After we created our questionnaires and it was time for us to start automating the actual documents, we struggled with navigating through that process. So we first clicked on Help on the Gavel site, which then produced a menu, and we chose the View Tutorials option. And then once we clicked on that and tried to use it, nothing was generated. No videos were generated for us. So we were still lost on how to find more navigation help. So then we reached out to Brittany Hernandez, who is the head of legal innovation at Gavel. And she actually sent us a 5-minute personalized video that explained in detail how to begin automating a document. She showed us the step-by-step process in Gavel that covered what to do after we created our variables, how to upload the document template, and then how to integrate our variables into the document. And then she just previewed what a final document would look like, which essentially was what Jada just showed us. But this video from Brittany was super helpful and it allowed us to finally complete our automation project. So while there wasn't a whole lot of available support through the Gavel website itself, the Gavel personnel seemed to be super helpful and responsive. So now we are going to talk about our personal experience using Gavel and what feedback we have.
Hey everyone, I'm Maya, and I'm going to talk about the follow-up regarding our experience with Gavel for document automation. Overall, the experience was really helpful and pretty enlightening. It gave us a new appreciation for the potential of legal technology. It allowed us to understand that instead of spending hours drafting, revising, and formatting documents, we're now able to generate them in just minutes. So that was really, really cool to see for our team. It also pushed us to be more process oriented. We had to document every step in our workflow and put in all our questions in a very clear and precise way to ensure that everything was organized and formatted clearly for the 3 documents. We also enjoyed that it forced us to think about our clients and what they go through when interpreting these complex documents and making sure they're formatted and clear in a way so that they understand all the complex legal jargon. Overall, it was a learning curve, but definitely one that paid off in efficiency and scalability. Um, Working remotely did present some unique challenges, though. One of our biggest was the collaboration aspect, especially during the logic building phase of automating the documents. It was often difficult for us to convey um, a lot of our complex documents through Zoom just due to the platform being slow at times, lagging. Kind of having the 4 of us using one platform on Gavel made it really hard to connect at the same time. We found that it kind of made it glitch and get a little slow at times, versus if it was just one of us using it, it was a lot better. Um, Another issue we had was version control with just multiple people working on the same Gavel project, leading to confusion about which version was the most current, as it didn't say the time or who last made these changes to the documents. But overall, those were just some of the issues we had with the remote work that we were doing. I think in the future, we'll be able to improve this by assigning more clear roles, and using project management tools like ClickUp and scheduling regular check-ins to stay aligned with our group. And I think also next time we'd invest more time upfront in planning our logic and which templates we were going to use from Westlaw. And I think we jumped in pretty quickly. And while that kind of gave us a good head start and momentum, it led us to do a lot of rework down the line. We had to kind of figure out multiple times how to draft the questions, who saved what. And I think that kind of added more time for us. I think we would also in the future create a more formal testing phase. Right now, we were kind of just testing as we went, but I think a final Q&A stage would have caught a few small gaps earlier. And I think our biggest takeaway is to involve end users earlier and get feedback from our clients while building would have definitely helped us tailor the questionnaires better, since this is for our clients at the end of the day. And I think some of our pain points were Gavel's interface overall. It definitely had some limitations, especially if we were formatting across different jurisdictions, like templates from different jurisdictions did tend to mess up. I think also the time investment was very significant. It's very clear that document automation saves time later, but in the beginning, you definitely had to put in the hours to build the documents and everything up front. So it did take a lot of time out of our day to be able to get everything set up, make sure we knew what we were doing, and that everything was organized. And I think overall, another pain point for us is the cost of Gavel. The light version is $83 a month, and the standard is $210 a month, which is a pretty big additional cost for us as a four-partner firm. That's just something that we were also considering. Um, and I think for the bragging aspect, there definitely is a lot that we can say. We're definitely proud that we took the step into automation when a lot of firms are really scared of this process. We successfully automated three of our most used and complex documents, and we're now able to generate them 80% faster than before, which is great for our work efficiency and all of that. We also made our client experience a lot more modern and seamless. Clients are now able to fill out a simple form and receive their legal documents without like the back and forth that usually comes with having all these documents separately rather than all together. And overall, we're proud that, with just having a fully remote team where we're able to collaborate and be creative and kind of share this vision to make it all happen. So I think overall, to wrap it up, this project wasn't just about automation, it was about transforming how we overall deliver legal services to our clients. And I think, and all of us think, by using tools like Gavel, we're really able to make legal help more accessible and efficient and ultimately more client friendly, which is our goal all along. And thank you for watching. And here's to the future of legal automation.